Hello and welcome to the new episode of Access Up Space Defense and Security Podcast. Space missions made simple, the right approach. So today's episode is quite special for me because having residing in France for almost 7 years, I am interviewing one of the French company CEO. And as always, I always say to the people that while I have made my base foundation in India, but France will always remain close to me because it is something that gave me opportunity and platform. So glad to have this opportunity again to interview a French company, which is one of the prominent new space players in the current landscape of this French space industry. So without any delay, I would like to welcome on board the CEO of Rights, Valentin. Hi, Valentin. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey everyone, hi Omkar, and I'm very happy to be here with you with all Access Hub listener. So yeah, I'm the CEO of Right Space, and I'm happy to share this hour with you.
Yes, absolutely. Glad to have you on the podcast finally. And, before we actually take a deep dive into what your company is doing, how you're serving the market, what kind of innovative approach you have in the new space landscape, can you tell us briefly about yourself, like how you started your journey in the space industry, how you ended up doing what you're doing at the moment, spearheading such a innovative company like Ride, and also a brief overview about Ride as well.
All right, of course. So long story short, Ride is a French new space company. We are very focused on the access to space innovation and new way of working between launch providers and satellite operators. So we are, let's say, the big family of the pure players of launch brokerage, launch management service providers, but we have a very unique and special approach, which is way more digital and data oriented. I guess it rings a bell to you as well, Omkar. So we have
Yeah.
two main assets: launch on-demand digital platform, which gather more than 40 launch providers and OTVs on one side, and on the other side, allow an access to their launch opportunities to more than 350 satellite operators. So this is the core value of Ride. And second, of course, we provide an off-the-shelf package launch management services, which help to our satellite operator to have a way more reliable and flexible scope of work for launch management. So long story short, our ambition is to become the new standard of access to space, like Uber is for the cab, like Airbnb is for the hotel, like Booking is for the flights. So this is what we do at Ride, and our ambition and our vision and unicity is to provide the most convenient, affordable, and reliable launch experience for any small sat worldwide. So that's all about Ride. And if I go back now to what inspired my vision and to start Ride, um, I guess like everyone here, first of all, it's passion. We all are passionate about space in the team and myself, of course. I guess you don't end in space if you are not passionate about that. It's so specific and so unique that it has to be the first driver, of course. And back then, like 4 years ago, between two COVID wave, I started to start few CEO interviews also to understand what was going on in the new space in France and in Europe. So actually, I wanted to start a podcast. To be very honest with you, so back at the time, I also wanted to start a podcast, and that was the great opportunity to share. Yeah, journey and experience with few of the main CEO of the market. So that was the opportunity for me to meet with Jonathan Gallic, for example, from Unseen Labs, with Louis de Gouillon-Matignon from Gamma Space, or Romain Luquen from Aldoria. And that also helped me to understand that, to see the big pictures and to understand that there were a clear pain in the market, especially into the market efficiency between supply and demand of access to space. So the more I was talking with people and doer in the market, the more I was seeing that there were a clear issue with the ability from satellite operator to find the right launch solution in the right condition of price, delays, and technical aspect. While on the other side, from emerging launch providers, they were lacking clients, and sometimes they were flying half empty the rocket. So as you can see, they were quite a big pain. So that was my key inspiration for starting Ride, discussing with key actors and key CEOs of the market while identifying a very big pain for access to space smooth process.
Yes. Interesting. So that's great that you also covered the mission and the vision for the and how we started the ride. That's quite inspiring, I would say.
Yeah,
And I hope we see more such initiatives coming out of France, because I believe France is one of the benchmark countries of the United States, in the space industry, where we are seeing developments. I mean, the military and the defense developments are at a very high stake, I would say,
it
in
is.
France. And that's the reason I think it's very much easier for a country like France to kind of scale the space capability, and especially having companies like this at a innovative pace at the front lines would definitely help kind of scale the ecosystem both on the upstream and the downstream side of the market.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
France
yeah,
is definitely one of the leading
yes,
countries in Europe for trying to catch up with US on one side and China on the other side.
yes,
So yeah, I'm lucky to
yes,
be in that ecosystem for sure.
absolutely. And going ahead with the kind of inspiration and the mission that you mentioned for Ride, what are the core services that Ride offers to its clients? And can you tell us about any notable partnerships or collaborations that have been crucial for your company's growth in the recent time?
Yeah, of course. So regarding the launch on demand digital platform, we allow a unique access to more than 40 launch providers to satellite operators, which includes access to their launch manifest, but also to special deals and unique opportunities that you cannot find anywhere else than on Ride. It also helps the satellite operator to prepare, design, and streamline the whole launch mission management from searching to booking a launch contract online. And of course, based on this, we have a lot of data, benchmark, and let's say comparison tools that help satellite operator to make the best choice regarding X, Y, Z launch vehicles. So this is really the core value of the launch platform. And on the end-to-end launch management services, what I call from a factory to liftoff, here it's more about like securing the scope of work of the launch contract while having a very flexible way of working. So we provide free rebooking for launch, for example. We guarantee to be on time, actually, and which is a clear, let's say, massive value for a satellite operator to be sure to be launched on time because we got backup launch, because we got multiple launch opportunity with SpaceX, for example, so that they can be rebooked or just like switch from one launch to another to ensure the mission timeline. And then, of course, based on our expert teams of mission managers and launch manager, we ensure the full ownership of the launch campaign, which include separation system provision and integration, regulatory check and compliance, logistics and custom clearance to ship the satellite from the factory to the launch pad, and then, of course, launch operation, launch integration, and everything that need to be safely done on the launch pad. So it's clearly the platform is the key to find and to secure, and the launch management is the key to ensure and to have the most reliable launch campaign. In terms of key partnership we had with some of our partner out there, um, I would like to on the launch provider side, I would like to highlight three ones. First of all, we've got a big partnership with Arianespace back in 2023. So we signed a partnership contract with Stéphane Israel, the CEO of Arianespace. So we got the primary access to Legacy and IN6 back at the time. So that was a clear game changer also for our European footprint. Ainspace is one of the leading company in launch business, so it was fairly important for us. We also have a significant agreement with SpaceX that ensures access to all of the transporter mission, which are at the moment the leading mission for rideshare in the world, clearly. So we have been on Transporter 10, Transporter 11. We are now in the middle of a launch campaign for Transporter 12, and so on until Transporter 21. And very recently, I've been to India to meet PSLV and ISRO teams in order to ensure also a streamlined access and some exclusivity for PSLV and SSLV, the new micro launch vehicle from India, to ensure also a well-balanced launch provider portfolio management between US Europe, and India, Asia area. So that was really our strength here to ensure this type of partnership for our clients. On the satellite operator or satellite manufacturer side, we have at the moment secured partnership with Argotech, for example, in the scope of the Iride constellation, so the Earth observation multispectral Italian constellation, and we have also ensured a long-term agreement with a lot of satellite operators, such as Satreb or Orbital Meter, to be able to launch them on future missions. At the moment, on the satellite operator, we are launching more than 30 satellites, and they are all split in, honestly, more than 20 countries. We got like Italy, Canada, US, France, of course, India, Nepal, Senegal. A lot of countries out there are trusting RIDE with their launch at the moment.
Interesting. And I mean, like, you briefly also mentioned just now in this answer that, who are your primary customers, or in general, who are your customers. But I'd still like to take a dive onto this topic, because there are some unique challenges always involved. So who are your primary customers, and what unique challenges do you help them solve, basically? uh, it can be anything, maybe reaching out for the launch opportunities, or maybe it can be related to the market segments. So anything and everything, the kind of challenges you help solve in the market, can you extend upon that?
Yeah, of course. So first of all, I would like also to highlight the regulatory aspect because sometimes it's quite
Yeah.
a forgotten point about the key change, especially in terms of launch business. And of course, I will come back
Yes.
right after about like securing the access to space, which is the core value of RIDE, clearly. But on the regulatory aspect, which is a key
Yes.
change out there, we do a lot in order to align, let's say, regulation between the country of launch, so the country of the launch provider, and the country of the satellite operator, so the payload, for responsibility, insurance, export license, etc., etc. A lot of payload could be considered as dual use, so civilian and military use, even if they are 100% civilian and commercial purpose, because of the space object and space regulation, they could be, or they have to at some point comply with some, I would say, hard regulation. So RIDE is definitely helping them to ensure the smooth process, end to end, in order to align France, US, sometimes China, sometimes Italy about like export license and third party liability, for example. Then, if we now dig into a little bit of the I would say the key challenge of our clients. If I take a very clear example about a key challenge and some success story, actually, which was, I guess, one of your questions. So, if I take an
Yes.
example about the Iride constellation from Argotech, we have helped them to secure more than 10 satellite access to SpaceX. So for 2 months, we've been like negotiating and let's say going deep into the relationship with SpaceX on technical standpoint, on commercial standpoint, and on level of service standpoint to ensure this constellation to get access in the right conditions to SpaceX. So we have been very involved, very deep into the user guide of SpaceX, into the let's say process to be able to allow some non-standard condition and some waiver, which is very rare to be honest, from SpaceX to allow some waiver to this Iride constellation. So yeah, it was a key change. And if we, for example, see about other change that we have secured recently for let's say smaller company, and that's something I'm very proud of, to be honest. We've been working with non-space legacy countries. um, you back. Yeah, we've been working with non-space legacy countries, such as Senegal, such as Nepal, to ensure sometimes the first satellite ever of the countries
Yeah.
to be launched and to be at least like able to find the right opportunities because they are starting from scratch, so they have not that much
Yes.
expertise or knowledge about launch opportunities and launch partners. So yeah, being able to enhance and enable the first mission ever for a country like Senegal or Nepal has been definitely one of the best both success stories and challenge as well, because we were pioneers in this case from the recent years and months at Red.
Interesting. That's a quite, I would say, an extended perspective, and I'm glad that you also covered the regulatory aspect, because I think the regulatory always remains a kind of a challenge. I mean, that's one of the challenges, I would say, we face, everyone in the space industry. I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's a
I mean, like
ground
it's a
station or
challenge,
whether it's a
but
satellite operator.
absolutely.
Yeah.
What is fascinating about that is that it's a challenge for sure. And additionally, no one wants to do it because it's
Yes.
quite I would say it's not the fun part of
Complex.
space, huh? Complex and not fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you have a key success
Yes.
factor in this, and if you have a key knowledge about that, that is definitely a game changer.
Yeah.
If I take a very small example
Absolutely,
of
I
that,
agree with that.
if I may, because we are well connected, at example point for other customs, we definitely ensure our
Yes.
client have a smooth customs process and avoid to be
Yes.
blocked or anything at the customs because we have built partnership with the US customs and etc.
Yes.
To be able just to to prepare everything in advance so that there is no bad surprise during the launch campaign.
Absolutely, I agree with you on this point for sure. And going a little bit ahead, I would say, from success point of view,
Yeah.
can you share a success story or even a case study where ride had significantly impacted a customer's project? In it may be in recent times, or in the previous years also.
Okay. Sure. Well, when I hear success story, again, we have plenty of them. I've mentioned the Italian Iride constellation. I've mentioned the way that we've been
Yeah.
helping like Nepal or Senegal first satellite to be launched. But I also want to highlight one which has been a game changer, as you say, for some of our partner and clients. It was a let's say, co-organized project together with ESA, a European Space Agency. It was called Push, which is a program that was supposed to accelerate and speed up some IOD, IOV, in-orbit demonstration, in-orbit validation, highly innovative project in Europe in order to provide two things. First is a contest to gather as much as we can innovative mission with rides, and second, of course, make one of them or two of them win a free access to space that was co-financed by Ride and ESA. So as you can see, sometimes the cost of access to space and the launch management can be a constraint for startups, for academic project,
Yes.
for innovative project to speed up their market access or their time to space. So because of this push project and push contract with ESA, we have been able to do two things: secured a unique access to Ariane 6 maiden launch. So we've been able to secure the several CubeSat slots on Ariane 6 together with ESA, CNES, and Arianespace,
Yes.
first of all, and then to organize a context within Europe to scout and gather through Ride online platform tens and tens of new mission, Pathfinder mission, IOD AOV mission, highly innovative missions to be launched on such a maiden launch opportunity from Ariane 6. So we had a very good, let's say, market reception of it. To be honest, so
Yes.
out of the more than 30 mission we have received, we have especially selected one mission that was the mission from Orbital Matters, Polish Polish company, uh, which was launching its first satellite for an in-orbit experiment of 3D printing in space. So as you can see, it was the first 3D printing experiment to be launched in Europe. So we have been highly involved in this mission, and we have selected them as the best mission to launch for free into space. And so we have we have been working hand to hand with them, especially also on the regulatory aspect, because when you 3D print in space, you have also some mechanism that has to pass the safety requirements at the launch pad, for example. And Orbitometer has launched with us last July on Ariane 6 within this ESA push program um, on the successful launch of Ariane 6 and their first satellite into space. So clearly, it's a success story because it's exactly us
Yes.
of our vision. We have used the platform to be the central, let's say, marketplace for this program. So a lot of new companies have registered on the platform, search for the opportunities, and log into the launch of Iron 6. Iron 6 was on the other side of the platform. Then it's also in terms of be the one-stop shop for new players, CubeSat and SmallSat. So all of the European players came onto
Yes.
the platform, and then we have ensured a smooth and reliable launch project and management for the end clients. So we've been very happy with that mission, and I've been on site as well to
Interesting.
be able to see this piece of history, to see the Ariane 6 maiden launch. So it was a great time over there in space. Space center of Kourou to see the Ariane 6 launch with all ESA CNES executive. So it was the climax of it.
Interesting. I believe we have covered quite a lot of part of the topic now, and almost we are at the end of the podcast now. This episode, but there is one last question like I would like to ask, and I'll keep it up to you completely to answer because it's more from a futuristic perspective. How is Ride contributing to the broader goals of the space industry from your perspective, and what impact do you hope to make in the next 5 years?
Oh, great question. Well, we try out at our scale, I would say, to contribute as much as we can to the democratization of access to space. As I say, we've been involved in a lot of in a lot of workshop, um, in a lot of common actions to standardize not only the launch approach, but I would say even the whole value chain. Because if you want to be, as I want to be, the single one-stop shop for launch mission and the new standard of access to space, it's also about, and I won't come back on it again, but about alignment in regulation, clearly. So we work in a lot in this, but it's also about the ability to standardize, for example, the launch interface. So the way the satellite operator and the launch provider are connecting both their hardware on the mechanical aspect, on the electrical aspect, and on a lot of technical aspects. And as you can see, if we contribute all together to have a standardized interface, whatever it's on SpaceX, Ariane 6, PSLV, Electron, or I don't know, NOTV such as UARX, etc. We then there is no limit actually to move from one launch provider to another. Like when you go to the plane, you don't care about what's the brand or the model of the plane. You just have a seat, and same
Yes.
for launch provider and same for satellite operator. So we work as much as we can by contributing with white paper, with think tank. We have the launch management think tank made by Ride, in which we have a lot of mission manager to speak as one voice, I would say, about all these topics, and then to, as
Yes.
much as we can, influence the decision maker out there. So it's, as I said, about regulatory amendment, about launch interface and mechanical connection. And it's also about radio frequency registration, about space insurance, so that we help have a standardized, off the shelf process, product or service, and at the end of the day, launch on everything from factory to liftoff. So we work end to end with the space insurer about like in orbit responsibility and third party liability, but having like a standard product for launch insurance, etc., etc. For the ITU, we want and we connect our platform to their own API for registration of radio frequency, so that we have a smooth process that helps most of our satellite operator to match with their bringing to use, which is the legal limitation for activating their radio frequency license. And they have to be launched within 7 years. If not, they lose the radio frequency, which could be a big loss in business at the end of the day. So as you can see, this is how small but impactful, I would say, contribution to space industry goals, and also to our ability to make to be the new standard of every aspect within 5 years.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Valentin, for such wonderful insights about Ride. And we hope to see your company scale up to the level where you try to, kind of help
We will.
not only some of the regional companies, but on a global scale, because there are several other companies from South Korea, Japan, who are also emerging into the market, even Australia. And we hope I'll be proud as well as a resident of France. I think I'll be proud as well to see a French company, spearheading this kind of services even out of Europe in such regions where things are still at an emerging stage. So yeah, thank you very much again, and we hope to have you on the podcast again in the coming year. So all the best to you and your team. Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much. It was a great discussion, and happy to have every actor on our platform, app.risespace.io. See you soon.
Absolutely.